Farmer Bob grew the best melons in the valley, juicy and sweet. He sang to them every day. His favorite melon was Big Bertha. She was as big as a beach ball. Farmer Bob dreamed of entering Big Bertha in the county fair. He knew she would win first prize. He built a special fence to protect her. No one would steal his precious Bertha, or so he thought. Stanley the snake lived in the fields. He loved melons, especially Big Bertha. She looked so juicy. Stanley had a plan. He would steal Big Bertha. One night Stanley slithered into the melon patch. He coiled himself around Big Bertha. He tried to squeeze her. He tried to push her. Big Bertha wouldn't budge. Stanley sighed. He needed help. Ricky the raccoon watched Stanley. He chuckled to himself. "Need a paw?" Ricky asked. Stanley was startled. He hadn't seen Ricky hiding behind a watermelon. Stanley knew raccoons were clever. Maybe Ricky could help. "I'm Stanley," he said. "I want to taste that melon. Will you help me?" Ricky grinned. He loved a good adventure, and this melon did look delicious. "I'm in," Ricky said. Section 4. The Great Melon Roll. Stanley and Ricky looked at Big Bertha. She was so big and round. "I have an idea," said Ricky. He found a tiny red wagon. They pushed and shoved Big Bertha. Finally, they got her onto the wagon. Ricky pulled the wagon. Stanley pushed from behind. The wagon wobbled and shook. Big Bertha started to roll. They ran as fast as they could. Section 5. The Melon Beauty Pageant. Suddenly, a light shone in their eyes. It was Farmer Bob. He looked confused. "What are you doing with Bertha?" he asked. Stanley thought fast. "This is no time for questions," he hissed. "We're late for the Melon Beauty Pageant." Ricky winked at Farmer Bob. "Bertha is the favorite to win," he said. Farmer Bob scratched his head. "A Melon Beauty Pageant? That sounded rather grand." Section 6. Friendship's Reward. Farmer Bob stepped aside. "Well, don't be late," he said. Ricky pulled the wagon past him. Stanley slithered behind. They couldn't believe their luck. They were free. Ricky and Stanley enjoyed their delicious prize. They ate melon for days. They became best friends. Stealing Big Bertha had been quite an adventure. Section 7. The Legend of Big Bertha and the Melon Thieves. Every year, Farmer Bob left a small melon on his porch. It was for Stanley and Ricky. He never forgot the night of the Melon Beauty Pageant. He chuckled to himself. What clever animals they were. And so the legend of Big Bertha lived on. The tale of the giant melon and the two unlikely friends who tried to steal her.